E. Department of Education. F. Commission on Higher Education. So the correct answer is letter B. Okay, and for this question number 1, you have 104 points. Let's proceed to question number 2. Agency of the Department of Finance tasked internal revenue taxes, fees and charges, and to enforce the forfeitures, penalties, and fines connected therewith. A. Bureau of Internal Revenue. B. Securities and Exchange Commission, Security System. D. Government Service Insurance System. E. Department of Education. Letter A. Alright, so you have 204 points for this question. Question number 3. These are corporations that engage in income-generating activities and are permitted to declare dividend. B. Non-stock corporation. C. Partnership. D. General partnerships. E. Limited partnerships. And letter F is corporation. The correct answer is letter A. Alright, so you have 312 points now. Okay. And for the bonus round, okay, so we're just going to skip the bonus round. Okay, and let's proceed to question number 4. Get ready. All right, so it is a setup between 2 or more individuals who will have equal share of both management of and profits from the business. A. Stock corporation. B. Non-stock corporation. C. Partnership. D. Foreign corporation. E. Local corporation. And letter F is corporation. The correct answer is letter C. All right, so let's wait. How many points you have now? So you have 467 points, I mean. All right, so now let's have the last question. These are corporations with no authorized capital stock, which means they don't issue shares of stock. A. Stock corporation. B. Non-stock corporation. C. Partnership. D. General partnership. E. Limited partnerships. And F is corporation. The correct answer is letter B. Okay, so if you got all the answers correct, so you have 572 points. Alright, so you're done with the test. Ayan, so ngayon naman po, I just want to flex the primes sec permit. Okay, so this is the official receipt and this is the certificate. Okay, so now, what is Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC? Okay, so it is a national government regulatory agency tasked with supervising the corporate sector in the Philippines. It also serves as the registrar and supervisor of the corporate sector or business sector. And it also serves as the independent guardian of capital market. So, ang SEC po ay isang ahensya na nasasaklawan ng kagawaran ng pananalapi sa Pilipinas. Ito ang nagproprotekta sa mga namumuhunan, nagpapatupad ng mga batas sa seguridad at nangangasiwa sa stock market. Ang stock market po ay isang palengke na medyo sosyal. At gaya ng isang palengke, may mga tindero-tindera rin po dito. Pero, imbes na karne, gulay, isda at prutas ang paninda nila, ang mabibili mo dito ay ang tinatawag na stocks. Okay? So ano ang stocks? Ang stock po ay isang bahagi ng pagmamay-ari o ownership sa isang kumpanya. Isa lang ang ibig sabihin ng stock, share or shares of stock. Kapag ikaw ay bumili ng stock sa isang kumpanya, ikaw ay magiging isa sa mga may-ari nito. Ang tawag sa iyo ngayon ay isang stockholder or shareholder. At bilang isa sa mga may-ari, ikaw ay magkakakuha ng dividend o bahagi ng kita ng kumpanya. Okay, so big time, di po ba? Okay, so what are the benefits of registering your business with SEC? The first one is in terms of establishing business bank accounts. So if you're going to open a business account, you need to provide proof that your business is properly registered business. A business account is an important asset to all small business because you can separate your personal activities from your business activities, especially in terms of payment. So it is more professional to give your clients a business name for payment instead of your own full name. Next is in getting loans. Okay, so when you apply for small business loans, you're going to have to prove that you're actually a business. Lenders and investors will ask to see your business registration along with other application requirements before approving you for a loan. So if you apply for a credit card, for example, as a business, creditors may also ask to see your registration paperwork. Okay, third is taxes and liability. Registered businesses must have an employer identifying number with the IRS and the state in which they are based as a business. This ensures the legitimacy of the business entity as a legal and tax status operation. Further, it ensures compliance with legal standards for bookkeeping and accounting. This also establishes that the business is paying taxes, employees are covered under the adequate insurance, and the business is reporting income to the government. There are also many tax benefits to registering a business. That's why it's very important to register your business with SEC. Fourth is reputation with customers. So establishing consumer trust highlights the importance of registering a business. Customers and clients, especially people you've never worked with before, need assurance that you are a legitimate business. A potential client may suspect your business of being a fly-by-night operation if your company isn't properly registered. When a business is on file with the state, it could put your clients at ease when making a decision about whether to spend money with your company. Okay, so kaya nga po, di po ba, sa mga companies or sa mga businesses, talagang nakadisplay yung kanilang SEC permit. Doon sa area na kung saan makikita ng mga kliyente, ng kanilang mga consumers, para maka-attract po sila ng clients. Okay, and then maka-establish po ng trust from the clients. Okay, so the fifth is supplier arrangement. So a registered business also makes you eligible to receive supplier discounts that you wouldn't normally receive as an unregistered operation. Suppliers commonly reserve wholesale rates for business owners who can show official paperwork from the state. Also, if you plan to try to get government funds for your company, a business registration is one of the first requirements. So for example, you have a construction business and you want to get government contract in constructing school buildings. So business registration is one of the first requirements. Lastly is in terms of hiring employees. So a business registration allows you to hire full-time employees and pay them in accordance with state laws. When you register your business with the state, you'll receive a state identification number that allows you to route state taxes on employees' behalf. So if you plan to hire on employees to your business, it's best to take care of registering your business with the state before you even start the search for workers. Again, so those are the benefits of registering a business with SEC. Now, which types of businesses require registration with SEC? Okay, so the first one is stock corporations. So stock corporations are corporations that engage in income-generating activities and are permitted to declare dividends. Okay, so ito po yung mga businesses or companies na kung saan meron po mga stockholders. And then, yung kita ng company or ng business ay pinaghati-hatian among the stockholders. Okay, so the examples of the stock corporations in our country are the PLDT and the Sunlight. Okay, the second one is the non-stock corporation. So ito naman po ay kabaligtaran ng stock corporation. So as the name implies, non-stock corporations, so are corporations with no authorized capital stocks, which means they don't issue shares of stock. Okay, so examples of non-stock corporations are the following: the associations, the foundations, the religious organizations, non-governmental organizations, and the charities. All right, so next type of business that requires registration is the partnerships. Okay, this is another legal type of business operation in the Philippines. It is a setup between two or more individuals who will have equal share of both management of and profits from the business. Let's proceed to the general registration procedure. Okay, so the first step is to register a business name with SEC personally through their office or online through SEC's Company Registration System or the CRS page. Okay, so meaning to say you have two options if you want to register your business name. Okay, you can register it personally through their office and then through online. The second step is to prepare the following documents to submit to SEC. Okay, the first one is articles of incorporation and bylaws. Second is registration data sheet. Third is treasurer's affidavit if applicable. Next is joint affidavit of undertaking to change name. Next is cover sheet. Next is secondary licenses. Then the endorsement of or clearances from other government agencies. Lastly, are the other necessary documents as specified under your chosen business entity. Alright, so some of the documents here will be generated from the CRS. The third step is upon completion of the documents, so you must notarize them before submitting them to SEC. So you will also need to pay SEC registration fees. Alright, so papanotaryo nyo po bago nyo ipasa sa SEC yung mga documents na kailangan, and then may babayaran po kayong registration fees. Okay, that's why a while ago I've shown to you the official receipt of Prime before getting that certificate. The last step is to wait for the release of your SEC certificate registration. Okay, so for you to be able to register your business account, you need to start creating an account on the CRS. So I know that you are familiar in creating an account because you have your Facebook account. So ang proseso po ng pag-create ng account dito ay katulad lang din sa FB. Okay, so magsa-sign up lang din. So here, the first step is to open your web browser and log on to crs.sec.gov.ph. And then, there you go, you need to click the sign up link. And then you need to fill out this form. Okay, make sure that all the fields are being filled out. Okay, so enter your basic information. So this is a sample. So, yung suffix po dito ay walang nakalagay kasi ito po ay para lang dun sa may mga pangalan na merong junior, senior, the third, the fourth. So yun po ang gamit ng suffix. And then you need to enter also your complete address. Then enter your contact details. If you have telephone numbers, you have to indicate it there. Also your mobile number. Next is to enter your tax identification number. Later, I'm going to show to you the procedure on how to get the tax identification number. And then you have also to enter the company information. Okay, next is there are other information that serves as an additional security feature. So, yung CAPTCHA po ay security feature. So, wag niyo pong ini-skip to because CAPTCHA is designed to determine if the user is really human or bot. Okay, so that is very important po. Alright, so type the characters in the text box and click submit. Okay, hooray! You have now successfully created an account. So, meron ka na pong account. So, this time around, you need to log in to your email and open the activation email. So, parang sa FB din po, di po ba? So, kailangan natin ma-check kung activated na yung ating account. So, click the verify address link. Your account is now activated. Okay, so the next process is to verify your company name. Alright, so again, you need to open your web browser and log on to crsec.gov.ph. Okay, then type your registered email address and password and then click log in. So log in na lang dito sa FB sign in, di po ba? So, alas magkatulad lang po. Okay, and then this will lead you to your dashboard. Ito po yung dashboard na makikita nyo. Okay, and then click the upper left icon and the register new company in the drop-down list. So yan po may bilog ang inyong i-click. Then, carefully read the terms and conditions. Ayan, nakalagay po. Carefully read. Opo, hindi po sinabing just accept the terms and conditions without reading kasi guilty po tayo dito. Ano po? So, hindi na natin binabasa, pero napaka-importante pong basahin natin kasi these terms and conditions contains the policies of the system. So, malaking bagay po. Dapat alam po natin yung mga, yung content ng kanilang terms and conditions. And then, that's only the time that we can click accept. Alright, and then choose your company type in the drop-down list. So, i-click nyo po yung company type nyo if it is a stock corporation or non-stock corporation and others. So, you have choices naman there. Okay. Then, choose your company classification. So, if it is a manufacturing company, so you have to click manufacturing. Now, if you are into accommodation and food service activities, for example, if your business is a restaurant, so click this one. Okay, so mamimili po kayo. There are lists in the drop-down menu. Okay, and then you need to choose your product or services under the subclass drop-down list. So another drop-down list will be confronted to you, and then you need to choose your product or services. For example, sa foods. So, ano po bang foods yung ino-offer nyo? Is it bread, cakes, pastries, pies, or ano po bang product yun? Aluminum po ba yung ino-offer yung product? Aluminum-based alloy casting, and etc. So, just choose from that drop-down list. Okay, then type your company name and choose a suffix. Okay, so this is the most important part. You need to type now your company name. Now, regarding your business name or company name, so it is important to have at least 3 names. Dapat mag-prepare kayo ng kahit 3 names because there's a tendency that your first choice will be taken already or is already taken. So, kailangan merong reserba kasi hindi natin nasabi baka meron na kayong kapangalan. So, kailangan yung magpalit ng pangalan ng iyong business name or company name. Okay, so there is a reminder that you need to refrain from using symbols like ampersand, the exclamation point, the @ sign, the sharp sign, the dollar sign, the percentage sign, the asterisk, and the open and close parentheses, and others as they may affect the system adversely. So baka magkaroon ng error. So, wag po kayong gagamit ng ganitong symbols pag kayo po ay nag-online registration ng inyong business names. Okay, so now you need to validate to check whether your company name is already been taken. Okay, so ito, i-validate nyo kung yung company name ba na nilagay mo is still available or taken na siya. And then choose the SEC office where you wish to submit the application process. Okay, so there are list of SEC offices and then just choose kung saan mo gustong i-submit yung inyong application. And then you will be confronted with this confirm verification summary. So lahat ng in-enter mong information a while ago ay makikita nyo po dito. Now, if you Okay, so if you wish to edit or modify yung ilang part doon, so just click edit. Okay, and then click save and proceed. Okay, always remember to save your information para hindi siya mawala. Okay, even naman in our simple, di po ba, yung in creating documents, di po ba? So, kailangan po laging isinisave natin para hindi useless yung ating effort sa pagtatype. Okay, and then now you need to add company information. So, what are the information that you are going to reflect here? Okay, so first click the transaction number in your dashboard. And then define if your company is located in an economic zone. Okay, kung yung company mo ba or yung business mo ay nasa EFSA, for example, so kailangan mong ilagay po dyan. And then, you need to complete the form. Okay, complete the form kung saan talaga nakalocate yung inyong principal office. And then, don't forget also to include the zip code. Anyway, there is a zip code list naman link. So, just choose kung alin doon yung inyong zip code. Okay? Again, click save and exit. Ayan. So, it is highly recommended that you click save and exit. This will allow you to reduce the chances of losing your information. So, if you are done adding company's information, now, you need to add company details. Okay? Yung detalye naman about your company. Okay? So, here you need to read the restriction and the required documents to be submitted, okay, para ma-approve talaga yung inyong application. Okay, and then choose yes if your company is a closed corporation. So here, pag sinabi pong closed corporation, it means to say that that corporation has only few members or parang family lang yung stockholders sa corporation na yun. So kung ganun ang inyong company, so you need to choose or click yes. Okay, and then select a purpose clause on the list. So, meron po ditong list ng mga purposes kung para saan yung inyong corporation. So, is it to engage in manufacturing food products? So, pag halimbawang related sa food manufacturing, yung inyong business, so, you need to click this one. So, is it to engage in operation of an ice plant? So, it depends kung ano po yung nature ng inyong business. Okay, and then specify your company's term of existence. So, kung ilang years ba yung gusto mong term ng inyong business, so you need also to specify it here. Okay, next is to define your company's capital structure. So, dito po sa part na to, ilalagay niyo po kung magkano yung inyong puhunan. And then, you need to be careful in accomplishing this part kasi po, ang involved po dito ay money. Ayan. Okay, and then specify the number of corporators. So, you have also to indicate kung ilan po yung number ng corporators sa inyong business. And also, okay, you need to add details of the individual corporation. Yung information about the individual corporators, so ilalagay nyo rin po. Okay, and then add contact information ng inyong contact person. So, kailangan po dito. Kailangan nyo pong indicate yan yung contact information para in case they have something to clarify or verify, so madali po kayo makakontact. Okay, and then add business activity. So there will be also choices. So just choose, okay, business activity applicable. Okay, and then define bylaws information. So this part, you are going to enter information related to the bylaws, and then ma-generate na po yung inyong requirement na bylaws ng CRS. Okay, so next is you need to click save and exit. Alright, so that's the last part in registering your business name or company name. Now let's proceed to the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR or TIN registration procedure. Okay, but before that, what is BIR? Okay, so the BIR is an attached agency of the Department of Finance. So it is tasked to assess and collect all national, internal revenue taxes, fees and charges, and enforce to all forfeitures, penalties, and fines connected within. Okay, so isa din po itong ahensya ng pamahalaan ng ating bansa sa ilalim ng kagawaran ng pananalapi. Nang tungkulin ay maglikom ng iba't ibang uri ng buwis sa bansa. So bakit pa kailangan magbayad ng buwis? So kailangan natin magbayad ng buwis dahil dito, or ito po ay tungkulin natin bilang mamamayan. At ang perang ito ay ginagamit sa mga proyekto sa pamahalaan. So mahalagang tamang ibabayad nating buwis. Dito rin kasi kinukuha ang pondo sa pagpapatay ng mga paaralan, hospital, at iba pa. So bilang employees and din may mga business or companies, so kailangan po talaga na magbabayad ng buwis. Alright, so again, gusto ko lang pong i-flex uli ang BIR permit ng Prime. So ito po siya. Okay, now how to apply for TIN or tax identification number. Okay, so step 1 is to fill out BIR form 1903. Submit with required attachment to the Revenue District Office having jurisdiction over the business establishment's registered address. Okay, so yung inyong application po ay papasa nyo doon sa RDO na nakakasakop ng iyong business kung saan yung address ng iyong business. Okay, and the second step is you need to pay the 500 pesos annual registration fee to the authorized agent banks of the RDO. Okay, step 3 is to pay the 15 pesos certification fee and 15 pesos documentary stamp tax. Ayan, so bukod yung bayad para sa certificate, bukod yung bayad para sa documentary stamp. It will be attached to Form 2303. Okay, yun na yung certificate of registration. And then for step 4, okay, so the RDO shall issue the certificate of registration Form 2303. Okay, last is that taxpayers must pay the documentary stamp tax on the articles of incorporation as prescribed under Section 175 of the NIRC on the month following the date of issuance of the said article. Okay, so that's the procedure and how to apply for tax identification number. Okay, so now is about the procedure and how to get the authority to print or the APP at BIR. Okay, so para saan ba yung authority to print? So yung authority to print po ay ginagamit po ito para doon sa mga receipts and invoices na kailangan para sa company mo. Di po ba naka-reflect yung business name doon sa heading ng invoice and then the official receipt kasi kailangan po yun sa mga business. Okay, so the first step is to go to Regional District Office having jurisdiction over business address. Kung anong RDO ang nakakasakop sa lugar na kung saan located yung business, so doon po kayo pupunta. Then, get a queue number and wait for your turn. Okay, so kukuha po kayo ng number and syempre, pipila, mag-iintay na kayo nang tawagin. Okay, then submit accomplished Bureau of Internal Revenue Form 1906, authority to print together with other requirements. And the last step is the leasing of ATP. Ayan, so meron din po tayo yan, yung authority to print. Meron po ang Prime. So, it means to say na talagang ang Prime po ay kompleto sa documents para mag-operate. Alright, so, and it would not be possible without effort and diligence of Ma'am Canubas kasi po sa haba po ng proseso na ating nabanggit. So, yun po lahat ng steps po yan ay pinagdaanan ni Ma'am Canubas bago po nagkaroon ng permit, ng SEC permit, ng BIR permit, at ng authority to print po ang Prime. Alright, so palakpakan naman po natin si Ma'am Canubas. Okay, so now, you will be taking a quiz. Okay, so magkakaroon po kayo ng quiz. Okay, so ito po yung link ng quiz, nasa quizzes po yan. Okay, so kasama po siya sa ipapasa niyong output. Okay, and another output that you are going to submit is that you are going to create a process flow to illustrate the following. Okay, yung steps in creating an account in SEC, and then, okay, another process flow for the steps in verifying the company name. Now, you may have this computerized or handwritten. Ito pong output na hinihingi sa inyo, yung process flow. Okay, so, ayan. So, meron po kayong mga ipapasang output. Yan po ang realidad sa work immersion. Okay, so I hope na hindi nyo po isipin na burden sa inyo. Okay, so huwag nyo pong isipin na dagdag sa mga modules nyo na tinatapos. Okay, kasi po ito ay para naman din po sa inyo. Baka kasi isipin nyo na ang dami-dami ng ginagawa, pandemic pa naman, so parang bigat na kayo. Alam niyo po, with your diligence and perseverance, mag-focus lang kayo, so you will be able to finish everything and you will be able to submit all the requirements. So before I end, okay, I want you to listen to this song. Ayun, so I'll be playing it.
When something seems too hard to handle, too big to conquer, too far away to touch, when all your dreams begin to shatter, and deep inside you, your girl knows what's time to say. Climbing my mountain step by step. Climbing my mountain day by day. Climbing my mountain all the way. Climbing my mountain, I'm gonna make it one step at a time. One step at a time. One step at a time. With Jesus by my side. One step at a time. One step at a time. I'm climbing my mountain. One step at a time. Even though you might grow weary, don't be discouraged. In our weakness, God is strong. Remember this, He'll never leave you. He won't forsake you. He's your strength and He's your song. So sing and start to sing. I'm climbing my mountain step by step. I'm climbing my mountain day by day. I'm climbing my mountain all the way. I'm climbing my mountain. I'm gonna make it one step at a time. One step at a time. One step at a time. With Jesus by my side. One step at a time. One step at a time. I'm climbing my mountain.
Okay, so thank you very much for listening and God bless us all.
Okay, all right. Have you learned something, trainees, from the talk of Ma'am Mary Joy, Pagtakan? Hello? Is anyone there? Oh, inside the Google Meet, I have with me 22. So do you hear me or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so may
Okay
natutunan
po,
po
ma'am.
ba kayo?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, meron po.
Okay, that's good.
Meron po, meron.
O, di ba? Though we come from different specializations, so we are from HUMS, this batch are from HUMS, from the ABM, and from the STEM group. So this is all applicable and this is all related to all of us, to all of our specializations, right? And do we have some questions or concerns in our FB Live? Can anyone share it here? Baka may mga nagtanong po sa ating FB Live. Hindi ko lang mabuksan dito because maaring feedback. So meron ba tayong questions? Sino ang nakakasilip sa ating FB Live? If they have questions there. Bago natin i-present yung recorded video din ni Ma'am Joy, also is her name. She is also a teacher of Tansa National Trade School from the junior high school, also of the TVL ICT of the junior high school of Tanza National Trade School, si Ma'am S.V. Joy de Guzman. Okay? So we will learn later, we will watch later her recorded video pertaining to her talk or discussion about securing debt.
Ma'am, wala po.
Yes?
Wala po silang mga tanong, ma'am. Nag-attendance lang po sila.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin, naintindihan nila lahat. Right? We presume, naunawaan nilang lahat. Anyway, guys, this video will also be uploaded in our training center, the Framing Virtual Training Center or the Google Classroom, okay? For everyone's guidance and reference. So, i-upload natin lahat, okay? Kung meron man tayong mga parts doon na medyo hindi nakikita, the slides that were shown is it is because merong pumapasok sa Google Meet and may interruption siya dito at my end sa aking gadget. So next time what we are going to do is starting tomorrow, kapag nakapag-start na tayo ng live airing or broadcast, except for our speakers or the trainers, hindi na tayo magpapapasok ng students or trainees in the Google Meet, okay? Para magtuloy-tuloy at maging maganda yung flow ng ating live streaming and the Google Meet live also. Okay? So, is it okay with everyone?
Yes po, ma'am. Yes po,
Okay po,
ma'am.
salamat po. Para mas maging maayos din, anak, yung ating ginagawang online or virtual training. Okay? So, everyone, I'll be presenting to you the recorded video of the talk of Ma'am. As I've said a while ago, I had introduced her to you. Ma'am S.V. Joy de Guzman of Tanza National Trade School, TVL Department ICT. Okay? So, allow me to present my screen. Okay. Sandali lang po ha. At kasi send niya lang kasi sa messenger ngayon. So I had to download it. Ngayon ay bubuksan muna natin.
Good morning, students. So, our topic for the
Dali lang po ha. Okay, yes.
Good morning, students. So, our topic for this morning is
Okay,
about
is it sharing, guys?
debt and advisory. And
Ang black lang po yung lumalabas. Okay na po.
Wala siyang picture?
Okay na po, ma'am.
Okay,
Education
okay.
and to the Commission Higher Education. So to begin with, so have here the Department of Education. So is the executive department of the Philippine government. So responsible for ensuring access and promoting and improving the quality of the basic education. So we also have the CHED. The Commission on Higher Education is the governing body covering both the state university, the public and the private higher education institutions, as well as the degree granting program. So we have the bachelor's degree, master's, and then the doctorate degree in all the tertiary education institutions in the Philippines. So in securing DepEd and check endorsement, what are the steps or the process that we need to follow? Number one, we need to submit the letter of intent to Department of Education and the Commission in Higher Education to conduct the conference event. Also, we have the TESDA if we want to submit the letter of intent, but we need also to include the new template that we are using in our school. So next, we have the new header and footer. Sa technically that lahat ay ubusan trade school. Okay, next. Letter includes. So what are the important details that we need to include in our letter of intent? So we need to introduce the prime, the organization mission, vision, goals, officers, affiliation, and location. So it is updated in our Facebook page and group. And then the event title, for example, the first International Research Conference Philippines. So this is very important that we have the event team. So what is the purpose of that event? So engaging and advancing leaders in cultivating 21st century research-based school. Okay. For example, the event schedule. So this is very important. And the time. We need to include the time. The venue. So we have now the limited center. But if not possible, if you have a high risk of COVID-19, so we will use the Google Meet platform and then the Zoom conference. The inviting keynote speakers and participants, and then the conference program, also the registration fee for the approval. So number two, we need to visit the office, the concerned office. Or for example, in division office, we have the record section or the ICT record section and hand in the request. Next, must secure a receiving copy stamped by the staff. So don't forget to get the receiving copy. So we have the date receipt, the contact person, and then the contact number. So we must get the receiving copy with the stamp. Okay. Next,
Make sure you need to follow on the dates indicate under receiving copy of your. So CHED will email you regarding the status or the depth of your request. Normally, it's about 5 days upon receiving letter. So we need to comply the needed documents to the office by the Department of Education, by the Commission on Higher Education, and also if you have a letter intent on TESDA, if there's any, so 2 to 3 months. So we need to visit the office once the letter has been approved. We need all the official documents needed by the office, needed by the Department of Education. Okay, what are the advantages of the DepEd and CHED endorsement? So we have these advantages. So it will be recognized by the prime organ incorporated or by the organization. It will create even the opportunity to expand its connection and can build organization's credibility in terms of launching business. And also, we have the time required to establish a market year retention rate. So this is the advantages of letter in CHED and in Department of Education. We must submit another letter of intent for another conference. For example, we have this letter of intent for one event, for example, school-based research. And then we also have the schools ICT teachers enhancement and workshop. So another letter of intent. So we must submit one letter of intent for one conference. So if you have another letter of intent, so for you must prepare also another letter of intent. Have to go with the process again. So means you need to familiarize the process for you to have the better understanding and expertise when it comes to the application. So we need to work in progress. So we have the letter template request for endorsement, acknowledgement of receipt of communication. We have the acknowledgement letter, the commitments, notice of the meeting, matters taken up, and then acknowledgement letter to the CHED or regional office. Okay, next. In research conference, for events preparation, so we already have the example of the theme, venue, date, registration fee, the target participants, sponsorship. If we have any sponsorship. And the next we have the membership contribution, conference expense projection, conference kit, and then the conference committee. Also the MOA signing, memorandum of agreement with Prime and then the IARIS, conference program. We have the speaker and keynotes, posters, advertisements and announcement, social media advertising, conference registration, request for advisory documents, DepEd Central. So we have the endorsement. So updates in the IARIS website, letter of invitation to the schools, and then interested participants, so registration, first deadline, total number of participants in research categories, conference panel, the score sheets and mechanics of the presentation. So these are the example of the letter. So the types of presentation, the conference, IARIS conference. So next we have the header, the managing committee of the IARIS, the international conference proceedings, and then we have the the example again of international conference proceeding. And then the activity, we have the program matrix, the activity, and then the conference program. And then the letter, guidelines on the required health standard in basic education offices and school. 2. So we have the DepEd order number, series of, so this is the example of the letter advisory. Okay, first International Research Conference Philippines of the Philippine Research Innovation Management and Education System. Also the letter our DepEd secretary. And the next, tips for writing your letter of intent. So use a business letter format. We can use the header in our school. Include a clear subject line in email. So if you're going to send a soft copy or through our Gmail, research the company. If it is legit, don't rehash resume. Keep it short and proofread letter. So we have the steps in securing a DepEd, and we also DepEd, CHED, and TESDA, securing the official documents or letter. So always remember, we need to stay positive in the midst of virtual learning. And then online learning isn't the following huge thing, it is now the huge thing. Okay, thank you very much and keep on learning. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So we are done with securing DepEd advisory and also the CHED endorsement for events like conferences being held at Prime. So, ano nga yung natutunan nyo, guys? Anyone? From those 21 here inside the Google Meet? Can you do wrap up with what you have learned? Anyone? Oh, I believe those who are here inside the okay, Rhea Clarice Miyage raised up her hand. Okay, go ahead now.
Ma'am, can you hear me po?
Yes,
Ma'am?
yes. You
Okay
heard.
po, ma'am. Yung natutunan ko po sa unang lesson is about po sa kung ano po yung Securities and Exchange Commission po, ma'am, kung gaano po siya kahalaga po. Then, ang sunod po is, ano po yung mga benefits po na nakukuha po natin once po na pinaregister po natin yung business po natin. Yun po, ma'am. Yun na po yun.
Okay. Very good, Rhea Clarice. What about the rest? What have you learned from today's topic or training? What have you learned from our training discussion for today? Hello, guys. Did you really listen? It's good. Rhea Clarice had listened. What about the rest? Maybe some of our fellow trainees in the live stream would like to say something, but since they are not here with us inside the Google Meet, so that's the reason why I'm asking any one of you here in the Google Meet to at least share for us to know that you have really learned something in today's training. Okay, anyway, we will be providing you with classworks or the task that will be required of you for this training day. So expect for a 2 classwork for today because there are 2, we had 2 discussants or trainers for today. They're both Ma'am Joy, okay? The first one is Ma'am Mary Joy, and the second trainer we had is Ma'am S.P. Joy, okay? And they're all both from Tanzania National Trade School, okay? And what did we learn about securing DepEd advisory and the CHED endorsement? Anyone from inside the Google Meet? Hello? You may raise your hand and I'll call you. Medyo hindi na ako magbubukas anak ng, what do you call this? My video. Baka mag-interrupt na naman kasi medyo it's hanging yung aking, naghahang na yung aking gadget. Okay? So anyone? Okay, if we do not have any sharings as of the moment. Let's go back to our review of your outputs on the previous training day. Okay, on training day 1. Puntahan natin ha. Try to share. Okay. So are you seeing my screen?
Opo.
Okay, yan. O, nakikita nyo dyan, anak. So, ganyan kadami ang classrooms na minomonitor ni ma'am. Okay? Ano pa lang yan? First batch pa lang kayo for this school year. Ayan pa yung last year. Ayan. Ayan, o, di ba? Okay, so our virtual training center is this one. O, the green one. Okay? So, kung nga pala, per section in the Humes, I would like to ask, ilan lahat yung inyong Google Classroom for the work immersion? How many Google Classrooms do you have? Ilan po?
Tatlo.
No. Just for the work immersion, anak.
Sa immersion po, ma'am.
Ilan po?
Tatlo po yung akin po.
3. Okay, can you please identify them? Bakit sila tatlo?
Yung isa pa sa
Can you identify?
Deployment po ata, yung kulay green.
Yeah, okay. So we have the pre-deployment orientation room, right? Wherein you had your orientation with your parents last time when you were in grade 11. Do you remember that?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yun. So that is the first Google Classroom for work immersion. And every one of you ay dapat dumaan doon, okay? Because in there, ay ino-orient kayo on how to accomplish all the requirements. Kaya even up to now, may nag-explain pa rin tayo on how to accomplish the documents kasi some of you were not able to participate or attend the pre-deployment orientation. Pero recorded po yung video doon. So, please advise your classmates who will be coming in late for this training or work immersion from home training at Prime na dumaan muna doon sa pre-deployment orientation room for them to be guided and for their orientation of everything. Okay? Kasi ang daming tanong, anak. Kung uulit-ulitin natin yon, it will take a lot of time. Okay? And supposed to be concentration na lang nila ma'am ngayon ay checking of your outputs in the virtual training center now sa Prime. Okay? So what about the second one? The second Google Classroom. Ano yon? Ano yung pangalawang Google Classroom that you have? Tatlo sila kamo. Sino yung sumagot sa akin kanina? Hindi ko kasi nakikita anak here. Minimize ko. Okay. Okay, so you have your 3 Google Classrooms for the work immersion. Yung isa, so the first one is the pre-deployment orientation room. The second one is your section room. Kasi doon kayo bibigyan ng pinaka-final grade. And it is also where your learner's progress monitoring sheet is posted. Kasi nakalagay lahat doon yung checklist. Have you been to the pre-deployment orientation? Have you complied with the requirements? Ano nga ba yung mga requirements ninyo? Wala. Bakit wala?
Ma'am, ano po, resume, tapos parents consent, tapos evaluation sheet po.
Okay, that's good. So, how are you supposed to submit the evaluation sheet? Kasi mahalaga yon.
It should be in Excel, ano po ma'am, naka-Excel po siya ma'am.
Yes, very good. It should be in Excel format. Kasi doon namin kayo bibigyan ng grade. Okay, yung mga naka-indicate doon na grade, yung kulay red, it's not really your grade. That is just an example. Okay? So, the trainers at Prime will be the one to put grades in your evaluation sheets. Okay? So, it should be submitted in Excel form. Kasi kung isasubmit nyo siya ng PDF format, hindi namin malalagyan yun ng grade. Okay? So, submit it, turn it in Excel format. Okay po? So, ano yun naman po yung yung pangatlong Google Classroom for the work immersion? Nandito ba sa loob ng room si Jazz? Who is a representative? Yes, okay. What's it about, Jazz?
Para po sa makasama po namin yung org po, ma'am, na Prime. Pangkalahatan po.
Okay,
pangkalahatan.
So pangkalahatan na. Okay, very good, Jazz. Ayun, congratulations again, ha? Ang galing.
Thank you po.
So, dito naman sa Prime Incorporated Virtual Training Center, so dito na kayo nagre-report ngayon because you are now in your work immersion proper. So, it is for a 10-day. So, meaning to say 80 hours yon. Although supposed to be adjusted na yung number of hours previously in our face-to-face work immersion deployment, naging 240 hours na siya. So, mas mahaba yung oras ng ating mga students dati in the deployment for the face-to-face at napakadami ng ating mga partners for the face-to-face. Medyo dito sa ating virtual, limited yung nag-commit na industry partners. And para tayong magkaroon ng virtual training for the work immersion, there has to be a very strong tie, very, very strong ties with the industry. And it's really a good thing that we have this Prime Incorporated na ang mga founders nito ay educators. So they really understood what's happening in the new normal of education, and that's the reason why when we sat together in a meeting, we had it in the minutes of the meeting, kasama din yan sa i-discuss sa inyo eventually, the possibility of conducting this work immersion from home or virtual senior high school work immersion with the help of our Prime Inc. trainers, and we came up with this program. So, palakpakan naman po natin ang ating president and the officers of Prime Incorporated. Sino nga ang ating president sa Prime Incorporated?
Sir Ivan po.
Okay.
Ivan Inductivo.
Okay, Sir Ivan Inductivo. Okay, so that's the reason why your first task is about developing what?
Organizational chart.
Okay. Developing an organizational chart of Prime, your own version. Para ma-familiarize nyo po kung sa mga officers. Okay? Last year, for the STEM and some batch of the ABM and HUMs, they were deployed at Social Welfare and Development Agency under the DSW